if I get them in the circle that I'm looking through, it kills them. I think it kills them and they explode into 10, 12 little particles.
Didn't know therapy was so violent. Last year, while aboard a cruise ship, Craig Flood came down with a terrible spell of what he thought to be your typical case of seasickness. But Flood's dizziness and balance issues never fully subsided after returning to land.
When I got up and did anything, like bend over and put my shoes on, I would get nauseous. If I were out walking around, I felt like I needed to hold on to a rail or to a wall or something because I was constantly rocking and dizzy.
Over the next 6 months, Flood met with multiple providers, none whom could recommend a treatment plan to improve his condition.
When it's in its worst times, it can get where it's very depressing, you're sick, you're not right, you're not terrible, but you're not right, and you're nauseous, and you don't know if you can do these functions. And it's a shame not knowing that somebody can help that.
He then came across the Center for Dizziness and Balance Therapy in D'Iberville, landing in the care of certified vestibular specialist Amy Farrar.
You know, when you go on a boat or if you go on a plane, you come off and you don't quite have your land legs yet. Typically that will resolve within a couple of hours. For someone whose brain kind of latches on to that new environment, you get this mal de débarquement syndrome where you continue to feel as if you're on this boat or this moving structure even though that you're on firm land.
This condition tricks the brain into thinking to use visual cues to figure out stability instead of the vestibular system located in your ears.
Your vestibular system's in your inner ear on either side. It's about the size of a dime. What it does is anytime that your head's moving in space, it is sending information to your brain about where your head is. So if he was in the dark, or if he was against a blank wall, if he was somewhere where there was busy patterns or a busy store, he would feel very unstable or dizzy because his brain was really relying on seeing where he was to feel stable. We have to find the correct stimuli to kind of provoke his dizziness, give it in a graded manner so that he's exposed to it but not pushed over into his dizziness too great. And over time, he's going to be less sensitive to those cues because he's getting that exposure.
Dizziness is gone. Balancing is still a little bit of a problem, but I have these exercises to do, and I don't need to do them as much as I used to. As long as I have maintenance, I can pretty well make it okay or even make it where it's good.
6 months of multiple doctors, different referrals, nothing was working. He came in really skeptical that this was going to do anything, but he put in the work and he's really become a believer because he's made great strides.
The difference between having someone that knows what's going on with the positioning and balancing versus a physical therapist that has read something about it is night and day. I don't know what would have happened to me if I had not found this place.